Well, it looks like it's an end of an era because Microsoft has finally decided they're no longer going to be producing first party Xbox One games because, let's be honest, the Xbox One is a decade old. And for the most part, people are into current generation game systems like the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. In fact, the reason why Microsoft is not making any more first party games for their last gen game console because they want you to buy the Xbox Series X. And the thing is, it's not as bad as people think it is because the Xbox Series X is backwards compatible with multiple generations of Xbox games, which is actually a good thing. With the PlayStation 5, I believe it's only backwards compatible with the PS4, and I don't think it goes any further back than that. But honestly, this doesn't really come as much of a surprise because let's be real, Microsoft wants to sell more Xbox Series X's because they know for a fact they're being creamed by Sony in terms of the console wars. The PlayStation 5 is right now the hottest game console on the market, despite how expensive it is. And a lot of people think that not making like more first party, Xbox games for last generation game consoles is something that's going to work to their benefit. And I do feel that for the most part, Microsoft they have a slightly better chance on doing better than they did with the Xbox Series X opposed to that of the Xbox One. But let's be honest, the end game for Microsoft is to move closer to cloud-based gaming, and there's been a lot of rumors and speculation surrounding the fact that the Xbox Series X might eventually end up being Microsoft's last like game console or last hardware game console because they've been talking about moving towards cloud-based gaming for years now, and I believe it was mentioned like at a conference or something like that a couple of years ago. Like I think it was back in 2017 or something that they they believe that the Xbox Series X was going to be like their last like game console or whatever because they want to move towards cloud-based gaming and seeing how much technology is evolving and changing and all that stuff. That's not too surprising they want to do that. I'm not too sure that whether or not Sony is going to do the same thing eventually after the PlayStation 5 because if something's not broken, don't try to fix it. If PlayStation consoles like sell out like crazy to a point where retailers like Walmart and Target are like restocking constantly because they're running out, it's like why would you want to change that? It's just more money. But obviously, I don't think the Xbox Series X has been selling out to the same extent as the PlayStation 5. So I think this is just a way or another tactic to get consumers to buy their current generation game system. And that's something that can kind of like backfire on them if they decide to um, not allow like third party developers to make games backwards compatible or publish them for Xbox One because for the most part, more people I think have Xbox Ones than they do the Xbox Series X, and that's because the Xbox One has been out longer. It's been out for like over a decade. Different variations of it, and I mean, I have no idea how this is going to affect the sales of the Xbox Series X because it's not like people don't have a choice, they don't have options or anything like that. If um, if the games that are being produced on the Xbox Series X are not really appealing to them, they can always turn to Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 5. Um, we do know that with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, they're going to have to play certain games on the Xbox Series X and all that. But I mean, I really have no idea whether or not this is going to have a significant effect on consumers' choices in terms of what they're going to buy in the future and all that stuff. But yeah, this is a really interesting development, and it's a bit surprising that Microsoft has not done this like sooner. And when I mean sooner, I mean like a couple of years ago, because the Xbox Series X I think came out in late 2020, and normally after like every 6 or 7 years, like game consoles normally, or video game corporations like Sony or Microsoft, they normally change over to their next gen console after like 6 or 7 years or what have you. But yeah, I'm surprised that Microsoft was making first party Xbox games this long. And honestly, I do think that if they decide to go down this route and no longer produce first party games for the Xbox One, it can definitely lead to one or two things. And honestly, based on how things are looking right now, um, I think they need any type of they need any type of like success in terms of getting people to buy their stuff, in terms of keeping others engaged and all that, which is why they, obviously acquired Activision Blizzard. But you know, it just makes sense. The Xbox Series X is the noun. The Xbox One is old, and a lot of people forgot that it's 10 years old. So Microsoft not making or no longer making first party games for their last generation game console shouldn't come as much of a surprise to anyone.